not go that good.
You are now watching the 2023 season of Farming with Duffy Ag.
Welcome back to the channel. Previously we had the 8820 apart. We pulled manifold gaskets out, which also means the aftercooler had to come out, which means the coolant manifold had to come up. It's not back together yet. We're gonna jump up there, wrap up this job, which should make it a lot better. We do have a leaking hydraulic line that's coming across here. We got something leaking in the steering that we got to figure out as well. So hopefully that's nothing too crazy, but it kind of got me nervous. But this hose over here looks damp. So we're gonna dive right into it. We'll probably have to do some parts running to get this thing to 100%. And honestly, what is today? To give you guys a timeline rundown, it is November 14th. Probably Thanksgiving we'll roll back into harvesting, to be honest, right around that time. Yeah, got my first check for shipping corn. It wasn't as bad as I thought as far as drying, but it's not great. So drying wetter corn costs money. At some point we'll put up a bin site. We'll start putting up something for the future. Picking up all my gaskets that are all over the place. Because the goal is to keep growing and to get to our acreage goal. I know a bunch of people do love to say how many acres I actually farm. Nobody's actually right on any of it. Somebody said I got 100 acres of corn. The home farm has 125 tillable acres, so that's known knowledge because you can look it up and see it. But alrighty, I'm gonna jump up there. We will do it up. Not too much left to do. We got to put coolant, stuff like that. So yeah. Stay. So here's where we're at. We got 3 bolts here. We did tighten this up some. I still want to, I'm gonna look up that part, see how expensive that is. It does seal up when it starts blowing exhaust out the muffler. Well, that's another place that it could leak. That's post turbo, so you're not losing power on that. But we got all the clamps back on. We're looking good there. Make sure everything's tight, secure. Since we were doing this in the dark, like, oops, I would have forgot those if I didn't think. Oil line, intake, and some shields. So I'll get right after that. Did I not even bring a screwdriver? I knew I needed one. I had everything up here, but we're getting better at using that roll cart. And let me go grab a screwdriver. Anything else I need? Roll cart, screwdriver. Should be good. Got all my sockets, impact gun. I've got better at these magnetic trays, and I actually updated the wrench holders to make life better. Let's see. Get all that in. Some of these have lock. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this actually went surprisingly well. Usually things are broken. Exhaust manifold bolts get hot and then cold. I said well, and then all of a sudden I dropped it, which makes it very challenging. There we go. Which usually makes it very challenging in your heating and torching every bolt. So, and that's part of it. A lot of people have reached out to me and said they've done the same exact thing. All it is a 466, which goes in a lot of motors. And pretty much every Deere motor is very similar as far as of this era, as far as the layout of it. Okay, good on that. These are tight. We got to do oil line, so oil feed to the turbo comes up from here, over, goes through the turbo, lubricates that, and then comes down, and the drain goes back into the block. We got everything else hooked back up. As I said, this line right here, as you see, it's damp, so it's leaking out of it. I'm almost wondering if it's the same line that's leaking at the other end. If it is, that would be convenient, but I think we got two different lines. So we got a few things left over here. This goes through. This is where two people is pretty handy, where you can send it through, because we got to get onto the boot in there. Got the one shield on, oil line back tight. Just slide that through and hope that it lines up. Pretty much how it goes, right? Okay, we will climb up here. Shut the door. Climb in the tank, because that goes right there. Yeah, OSHA safe. Going in the other way actually is easier. Put that in the back. Okay, once we're in here, this is your air intake. Through your filter. So it actually pulls air in over here, goes down through the filter, through the two elements, and then into the motor that way. So yeah, but what we got to do, I should just tell Robert to come over here, but he's working the next road up. What we got to do, I should have done this last night when I had his help. Put it on. And then once it's on, we got to direct it over there, because there's 3 bolts that hold it here. So we'll have to climb back in a sec. Put that back on. I wish the combine was inside, but the height and the width doesn't allow me to put it anywhere yet. So now we got to line up these 3 bolts that actually hold this on. Once that's on, we can put the boot on here, which is there, and then climb back in and actually put the clamp on inside. I do say that it's a lot nicer. What did I do here? It's a lot nicer working. Look at all sorts of different sizes. Working outside when it's light out. I think that one goes in there. Because it's tapered. I think that's how it goes. I don't think it matters either way, everyone's the same. Come on. Stay. Okay, those are in. You guys see any of that? Maybe. So all that does, water out of it. Got the boot that I probably should have put on before, but it does have some flexibility. We just got to get it all the way on. Gloves getting in the way. There we go. Pop that on. Got the hose clamp here. And it goes barking at. Not really sure. And honestly, I'm trying to hustle with this because Isaiah's actually hauling beans to Lutz right now. And he said it was pouring out there, so they're hauling beans for a farm, which means we're gonna get wet here in a little bit probably, even though the weather says we're not gonna. I do have fuel filters to do on this, which probably will help some. Getting this to a good spot. Is there a... Oh yeah, there's primer over there, I remember that. Go. Bingo. So that's on. The last thing out here is we got a heat shield that goes up over here so it just doesn't get hot against the panel and burn the paint off. So 3 bolts here. Why do we have 3 bolts? Oh, I took one out and used it. And this goes right here. Put that one back in there. Looks good. Good to go. I gotta climb back in the grain tank, tighten up that one band clamp, and then yeah, get it started up, make sure it actually still runs. Probably change fuel filters out at that point. Yeah, easy. Don't forget, we gotta put coolant in. You guys remind me because I just already forgot. We gotta do a little cleaning up in here, but yeah, that is full for right now. Run it a little bit, check it again because it's gonna fill up some of the ports and things like that when we drained out the air pockets inside of it. So we are in a good place. Let's make sure nothing's leaking right now. Nothing looks to be leaking. Okay, let's get it started and then we'll change the fuel filters out. We know everything is good. Should leak a little bit when we first fire up because of that coupler I said after the turbo. Yeah, that's normal right there. We'll get that figured out. That's easy enough to fix. Sounds a lot better. That's a big win. That is a big win. I'll let it run for a little bit, let it warm up some. Just to get coolant worked around. Yeah, that tube there. So I'm wondering if it's wore out. We could notch the one side and move it over more, but I'll look up what that tube costs. Yeah, a lot better though. That's not draining power, it's just leaking there instead of getting all the way out. The problem is if your exhaust manifolds are leaking, your exhaust pressure is not spinning that turbo enough. So then it goes back to losing horsepower. Same as what has been going on the pickup. And I don't know where in correlation it's been, because we've worked on the pickup on and off for the last week, but I'm waiting on parts. So if you guys know, then you know. If you don't, I guess you'll have to stay tuned for when we do that. Sounds really, really good. So we got replacement fuel filters to throw in. Set those up there. Just to make sure, because you don't know what kind of dirty diesel or stuff sitting around, what's in the filters. So I'll shut it off and we'll do those. Yeah. Okay. It's a little chilly, but not that bad. So to do those, right here, you got two. You got your bleeder. Is that bigger? I think that's 11/16, ain't it? You got a 5/8. Yep. Well, that's a 9/16. Oh, I didn't even get the sizes I needed, but I'll get the filters off and then swap them out. And I do have a list of need spares of this and spares of that and everything else. Get those off. Or just fly into the cab. Good peace of mind. So to get these in, they got, let me show you another one. You get your 3 ports. The single one goes on the top. There's a dimple on the filter housing itself, has a dimple, and then it locks in where there's tabs, so like you can't be off at all. It doesn't allow you to, because then this doesn't lock down, and then it's just a spring-loaded clip around it that holds it on. And then we got a primer down there on the lift pump. So if we take this fitting off, we should be able to prime till fuel comes out and go from there. Granted, there is on-road diesel in this right now, because like I said, we ran out of fuel and I really didn't have much fuel. We actually drained that other tank yesterday into the space heater, and I got a load of fuel coming on Thursday morning. We're not going to fill the whole tank, but the prices of off-road and bulk is getting better and better, especially with that tank. So I told them about 500 gallons, which price of fuel I'm getting is $3.30 right now for off-road diesel. So what's that, 12 something? No, 15, 1,600 bucks, 1,700 bucks by the time you're done, something like that. So yeah, it adds up. Things are expensive. Imagine that. These are made in America, which is good. And I know you can get different brands and they're cheaper, this, that, blah, blah, blah. When I see a Deere motor with Deere filters on it, I like it. So, same thing. We got to do an oil change on this. Like I said, we were doing the shakedown test, so oil looked really, really good in it. But peace of mind. And right now it has a CarQuest filter on it, which isn't the end of the world. A lot of the filters are made by the same people nowadays, and let me clean this one up. But, alrighty, throw this one on. Nice and tight. So we got to take that out, that plug out, and then we prime it till fuel comes out, like I said. but I don't see any leaks. Everything seemed to run really, really well. It sounded really good, which big fan of that. A little hard work goes a long way. But let me jump down, grab the right size. Got the plug out. This lift pump has a little bit of leak out the top, which happens from time to time. Anything coming out yet? Oh yeah, it's running out now. Put the plug back in. Get a little snug. A few more pumps. And you can hear it coming back through. Okay. Should be good there. It should fire right up. Usually it does not go that good. Well, okay. Let it run for a second. Make sure everything's good there. No leaks, nothing bad. A ton of people had said it, and I did do it, but I never showed you guys because that's how the comments work. But in the straw chopper, the stationary knives get pulled back. Yep, they're back, so that they don't break them off with the cobs, everything else like that. Granted, a lot of people in the Northeast, at least around here, I'd say, we've been noticing that the cobs are softer, and I don't know if it's the growing weather or what, but a lot of people, it's not just like me. So that's good. We'll get our, well, I guess we got to find that hydraulic line that goes across on this, figure out where exactly it goes. I'm thinking it's this line here that's leaking. This one don't feel wet, this one's all wet. So steering line there. On to hydraulic leak. You can see it's damp right there, even after I cleaned it up. So that line's got an issue going with it. We'll get that, we'll shut it down, get that pulled out. I'm not sure on where that line actually goes. So we'll do a little digging right here. Goes down underneath the battery box. And one connects over here. Would be cool if that, but that's also your drain line. Ugh. Oh, that's not as nice. Probably take this cover off that we put on, because then you can get in there a little bit easier. Let me see if that is it. I don't think that's it. I don't. I do, but I don't. But you can tell right here, you can see it leaking. So not a ton, but enough that we should probably get that fixed up, right? I think that's a return case drain back to the reservoir, and I see the reservoir's got some foam in it, which that means if I take that off, oh, the fluid that's in it comes out with it, which is not good. Not the worst thing, but not good. Expensive. Did a little digging, and you can see it's damp from where we lost some fluid, but that line goes right there and goes over and connects there, so it does not go over. So we'll take the hanger off the bracket right there, and then probably remove the other end, let it drain, and remove this end. I do see that. Probably gonna have to do a little bit of adjustment on this one. It vibrates off, so that just holds the panel down. One side is off, got to get up to the other. Should be an easy enough line to get made. Isaiah's actually headed this way. He hauled those beans in, and I told him, hey, I gotta go get this line made, and I got a list of parts, so we're probably gonna run down Cobleskill real quick. Wrenches. Let me climb up here, pop the other end off. I believe it's a 7/8. Oh no, it's might be a 7/8, but we've been getting more organized with some tool trays and stuff, making our lives easier. Yep, it's a 7/8. Yep, let me grab that. Well, if I got Isaiah's help, I should have left this on for a minute, but it's off. I'll get him to give me a hand running it, steering, and I'll see if I can see which one's actually leaking. They get brittle and old, and this end here, you can even see it's starting to split. That's where it was leaking. So we'll get that made up and be closer to 100% on this machine, which I am very excited about. We are back from town, got some lunch, even got Isaiah's father some lunch. Still dripping some oil out, so new part, who dis? There we go. Alrighty, let me get up there, throw it in, put the clamp on. Back on. Just gonna put the clamp back on, tighten the bottom. We're gaining on it. A lot better. Figuring out the little things. That's why we did the test run. Otherwise that was gonna leak all the time, but now we're low on hydraulic oil because, well, you know, it leaked out. New lines on there. Got a little bit of hydraulic oil from rubbing it up on stuff, but that's good. Now to put more hydraulic oil back in. One leak fixed. We got to figure out the other one. I cleaned it all up before we put more hydraulic oil in it. Hey. There you go. Come here. You got to stop with that, because then you try to eat them. You can see right away it's dripping. So this line here. Okay, we can see right here that is dripping. Well, I can see it right there. That's our issue. So this line that we don't know where it goes, but we're gonna find out. It goes somewhere. Where do you think it goes?
Well,
hey guys, we're in here. We got the seat up.
Man behind the camera.
So we got the seat up. Yes, there's grease fitting. There's one right up there. There's another one. And what we got going on is the one line. There's a coupler right there, so we got to take it off. And it actually is leaking at the other end. This end looks good. There is a lot of debris just hanging out. Yeah, now that we know, we'll probably pull that line and go get another before we put any oil in and have it just disappear. But yeah, seat pops up, take the cover off. Easy enough to get to all that. Got the bottom one off, so we'll go up in the cab, see if we can get enough room to get the other one. Probably take this plate down before it blows away. It's getting windy out here again for you guys. Okay. Hopefully we got the right one off. I think so. Probably need two hands. Is that the right one? Or... Is it zip tied to something or what?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I was pulling it and it doesn't. Okay. Oh, way smaller. It is out. You guys are covered in hydraulic oil now. I already closed the doors up. Get that way this can be wrapped up for everything that we need to do to it. New line, some other things that we found along the way. Hose for the fuel tank, because like I said, we do have fuel coming. What I'll do on this line though, tape the other end. That way when I send it through, it's not full of debris and trash. And then we'll just throw this back in, get some hydraulic oil in it. Combine should be closer to 100%. Like I said, we still got a few things to do. Little things. Change oil, stuff like that. Otherwise, no hydraulic leaks. Thing runs good, no exhaust leaks. It's pretty much like a new combine, right? Mm-hmm. Crew chief out here getting crew chief things done. I'll grab some hydraulic oil, I guess. So what happened?
Jake didn't put a swivel on the end of the hose.
So we had to loosen the inside. It's swivel on one end, but ideally you want it on both for this application. Well, combine's good. Even got the parking brake to work properly. We had the seat up, wiggled it enough, messed with it enough, sprayed some lubrication on, and now it has parking brakes. So that is a plus, because when you're rolling down the hill and you have no brakes, for some reason, that saves you. I'm gonna clean up some things. What are you gonna do?
Find somewhere warm.
Probably watch me clean up some things. And that's gonna do it for today. As you see, the Macs are in the bin behind us. I don't know if you guys have seen any of that or not yet, but that is on the list of projects in here. And combine should be pretty well ready to rock and roll. I do got to go get my mask off the top, and I'm gonna string trim some of the longer stuff and be done with the lawn. We do have to clean up. We should get a lawn crew. Oh, I gotta throw the hose on the fuel tank. So then we can be official. Well, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We're already done for the day filming, okay? This is after hours of you making fun of me for stuff.
So, no swivel on the nozzle.
I thought these were swivel. They're not.
That hose leaks, right? And I'll show you why right here, because of this. Pulling on it all the time. So, that's education with Duffy Ag and crew chief.